Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to do a super quick frontal regroom when you're short of time. So this system's been on for about 2 weeks and the front had been coming a little bit loose, so this was the perfect time to do it. I just apply some adhesive remover. I always use C22. Please do use a adhesive remover when you do need to remove the system. And just make sure that you're not tearing it off your head, because that is not good for your scalp. So once I've pulled it back, I then apply an Alice band. You can use any Alice band you want, or you can use sort of hair clips, anything that holds the actual front of the system away from the scalp, because you're going to need to use this area to clean and then rebond. So I get the cotton balls out with some isopropyl alcohol. This is one of the most important bits. This is where you actually clean the scalp, where the old tape has been, just to make sure that you get the best bond possible when you actually put the system back on your head. As you can see, there's tape at the front. I will not be reapplying tape on top of this tape or taping this tape off and putting another tape on. I literally just use glue on the scalp, but I also apply glue to the actual tape, not the actual base. I apply it on top of the tape. So I just do another round with the isopropyl alcohol just to make sure that it is absolutely clean, because that is the best way to get the best adhesion. Don't put on too much, you might get a little bit of redness otherwise. I think I've done one round too many of the alcohol on this occasion. As you can see, it's a little bit red where it wasn't before. So usually about one layer of isopropyl alcohol just to give it a good clean. And then you want to be getting your glue ready once you've actually dried the scalp. Make sure it's dry before applying any glue, or any tape for that matter. And this is where the glue is going to be going, and it's also going to be going on top of the tape. So please make sure you don't get any glue on the lace base. Just make sure you get it on the scalp and on top of the tape. It gives a really good adhesion when you do it right. So what I'm doing at the moment, I'm just applying the glue to this little glue stick that I use, and then I just start dabbing it on my scalp where I want the system to actually go. And I do one layer of this first off, across where the hair system is going to go. And then I sort of leave it for a period of time just to let it dry. I usually do about 2 layers if I'm doing a quick frontal regroom. I do 2 layers on the scalp and then 1 layer on the actual system itself on top of the tape. But you just want to make sure you're getting good coverage there, so that it covers the whole of where the hair system is going to be landing. So you want to be getting both sides. You want to be working around the temples as well. You don't have to be super liberal with the glue. I'm actually quite conservative with it. I just put a few dabs on, and then I just sort of spread it across the scalp like that. And then once there's some decent coverage, I'll generally let it dry for about 20 seconds. And whilst that is actually drying, I pull the front of the hair system up so I can access it, and then I put 1 layer of glue, still Ghost Bond, onto the actual tape itself. I can't underestimate this enough. Please put it on the tape and not on the actual base itself, otherwise it will ruin your base. Again, you can be quite conservative with it. You don't need to put a whole load on, just a few dabs, and then you can just spread it like that, just so that it gets a nice bit of coverage. There's just me looking in the mirror, making sure that I'm not getting it everywhere. I did get a very small bit on the lace there. Make sure that if you do that, and it does happen, just make sure that you've got a cotton bud ready so that you can basically remove the glue where it's landed on the lace itself. So this is when I put the second layer of glue onto my scalp. I go even more conservative this time, as it really doesn't need much at all. Just a few little dabs onto the scalp of the Ghost Bond. Ghost Bond works really well with tape as well. It gives a really strong bond, a really good adhesion if you're looking for a very fast regroom. And just literally just dabbing it around the temples, and just sort of pushing it from front to back and side to side, just to ensure you get that second layer of coverage. You don't actually need to do a second layer, but I usually do, just because I want to make sure this is going to last me at least another week. And then the glue generally dries within about 2 minutes, so I've let it dry, and now is the time to actually press the system down. Make sure you remove the Alice band, and I always press the system down outwards to inwards, so I make sure that I do the temples first. I cover the temples first, and then I push it down from sides basically to the middle, and I just make sure that it's pressed down firmly against my scalp, which it is. And then what I usually do, I just sort of press around to make sure it's all pressed down, and then I'll grab, for instance, like a comb. Comb is really good for this because they're quite bendy, and you can use that to sort of press down the front of the system without it becoming an absolute mess. And hey presto, the Frontal Regroom. So let me know if you found this video helpful, guys. Has this helped save you time when you're trying to do a regroom first thing in the morning? What's your techniques? Let me know in the comments box below, and thanks for tuning in.